think you ought to meet Blondie. Blondie has been at it. She's been dancing for 16 years. She's made a career out of it. Blondie says she stays in the business because she loves, not the money?
Sure, I love the money, but that's not everything.
What do you like?
I like the excitement of getting up on stage and seeing people just, you know, really being happy to watch me entertain them, and I love it. It's exhilarating. I mean, it's fantastic, you know, but sometimes it's a little lonely when you go at home.
What is your real name?
My real name is Anita Rae Strange.
Mama was a dancer at the Clermont Lounge. Those men would give her money just to shake her butt around. The other kids at school didn't treat me worth a damn, 'cause Mama was a dancer at the Clermont Lounge. Don't you let them touch you, Mama, I love you.
What made you come to the Clermont?
A customer of mine named Jim Johnson, he owned a car wash. He said, there's a bar I think you're going to like. And he took me to the Clermont Lounge, and it was kind of slow. It was in the afternoon, about 4:30 or 5, and there was probably about 8 customers in there. And Mary Ann Willis, who was the owner at the time, she was there. He said, the girls are great here, but he says, I've seen this girl dance. I think she could spice up. And I ordered an orange juice with some, what's that red stuff you put in it? Grenadine? I didn't even order a drink. Something told me not to order a drink. And I think Mary Ann was impressed by that. And she said, well, get up there and dance. I had a really beautiful body, perky tits, and I knew how to move. They hired me right on the spot.
In the early 80s, some friends of mine moved into an apartment which was right behind the Clermont. It was very much a rough and tumble, blue-collar, predominantly blue-collar bar. It had a reputation for being an unusual strip joint, as much for its roughness and crudeness as anything else. The Clermont became, unwittingly, the hippest bar in Atlanta.
It's different from most strip club experiences. People really talked about it, and they said that, oh, there's all these women there, like these really old strippers. Like, it was like, I thought that was really a cool thing. I really fell in love with the place.
And the guy was saying, you know, I can give you a job, but you know, you're a little pudgy. But at the Clermont, there's room for pudgy. A lot of the other clubs, you must be 5'7", of a particular body type, blonde hair, preferably blue eyes, cookie cutter clubs. The Clermont has always been eclectic.
The customers at Clermont were part of the freaks. We were not viewed as anything that odd. We were kind of adored as special creatures.
I love that there's all these women of different ages and different sizes. It sort of challenges the notion of what we think of as a stripper and what we imagine as a stripper. The Clermont and Blondie are the example that you can still be sexual and be controversial and still use your sexuality well into your older years. Blondie's sort of the first name that you associate from all of the women there.
We want to see the color girl dance. Come on, let her get up there and dance. And I got up there and danced, and them men went wild. A black chick is kind of taboo, you know, kind of taboo. It kind of reminded me of Porky. because you don't really see that many redneck kind of country western, dance clubs. Maybe in Texas. I used to have a cowgirl act. I mean, a whole thing, the whole outfit. And I mean, even though I have 4-inch heels, I could still clog in those. That takes a lot of strong leg and ankle muscles given to me by my ballet, tap, and jazz training, I suppose. I like to do a lot of kicks. I just have a certain style that I like to dance. But in my country, I just get up there and just like, I don't know why I like it, I just do. I have stage presence, and that's what a lot of the girls do not have. Yes, they're dancers, but they don't have stage presence. It's just like they're getting up and doing a dance. You have to have that stage presence.
Blondie's evolution as an artist took a different turn. One that wouldn't have happened without the Clermont's transformation into something more than just a strip club.
Those Tina Turner legs is what really, really separated her from the rest of the crowd. She was fucking fabulous.
She really puts on a show, whether it was 5 people in the bar or the place was packed. That was her stage.
Blondie's notoriety became something more than just that wacky stripper who crushes beer cans between her breasts.
Hey, keep your eyes peeled now.
Punch your can at all, okay?
Camera.
Here you go. Hey, how about this?
I got it. Go.
Whoa, baby.
A friend of mine was in a fraternity at Georgia Tech, and they had a standing rule that if someone said they hadn't been in Clermont Lounge, you had to drop everything you were doing and take that person to the Clermont. Well, this is my prize for my 22nd birthday. Went out with some friends and we went to the Clermont and got my can crushed.
The beer can crush. I come up upon that, just say about 15 years ago. But someone else did it before me, and let me tell you who she was. Her name was Mary, but she had fake boobs. And she did like tall cans, but she could do short cans, but she only did it straight up and down. I'm the one that tweaked it to make it kind of crush. We would take an empty Pabst or Budweiser can. Make sure the can's dry. When it's wet, I have to dry the can off because, I don't want any excess. And when I do it sideways, it could probably cut my boob. Take it between my boobs, do it this way, like that, and then take it and tweak it. Just maybe with a little pinch. Tweak it so it turns, and then crush it down. I sign them, put my lipstick on them, put my webpage on them, and put them in the sack. And I've been signing the sacks and putting something just for each one of them. And whatever comes to my mind, I make it up as I go along, which makes it very personable.
Part of your act as well is you hit customers with your breath.
Well, let's say I don't hit them. We kind of like bop them. Pop, 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 pop.
She balls up her fist behind her tits and just beats the shit out of him.
I wouldn't say hit. It's just like I'm kind of bopping them around.
Buddy's over at the end of the bar, and I wanted to do that, and started haggling over price a little bit, and I don't know, words were exchanged, and the next thing I know, she just, smacks me in the face. I woke up with a pretty swollen face and a nice little shiner. She's a tiny little thing, but she hits like a man.
It gets a lot of frustration off my chest.
I think we're dealing with a person who very early in life found herself outside of the norm, a misfit. From very early on, Blondie felt like she didn't fit in. And so part of the reason why she created this persona, Blondie, was as a way to express herself and as a protective barrier.
Did your mom know you did this?
My mother does know I do this.
Oh, is she
But she's very pleased with my writing.
okay.
Writing is very important because that is a career that will last with me throughout my life.
Yeah.
I can't dance for the rest of my life. I was born in Dayton, Ohio. I went to grade school at several different places because I stayed with several different relatives. I always had it a little bit hard in grade school. I went to mixed schools, but still black kids always picked on me. And I was fairly light-skinned. I like to answer questions when the teacher would ask me. They said, "You trying to be white?" I said, "No, I'm trying to get an education. I'm not that smart. I just want to learn. That's what I came to school for." It hurt, yes, and I wanted friends. And I had a couple maybe, but they picked on them too. I've let all that baggage go. I mean, you know, them picking on me, the girls too, not just guys, the girls too. You know, you think that your own race would be supportive of you. I've never really dated any black guys, probably because of it, because I always thought they were going to hurt me. I didn't like to get in fights or anything because you could get sent to the principal. I didn't want to get suspended because my mother worked so hard to make a good living for my brother and I. I enjoyed playing by myself with my dolls or reading. I just learned to accept that. Yeah, sometimes it was lonely, but you know, you make up different little characters when you're playing with your dolls by yourself, and you live in your own little world.
I'm interviewing the queen bee. This is Blondie. I hear you're a legend in this city.
That's what they say.
I think she's always known she was going to be successful. She was just waiting for the right opportunity, the right person, the right people to help her to get there, to gain that position. And I think she's been very patient.
I've met so many interesting people. Trent Reznor, he used to come in there. Marilyn Manson, he brought Jon Stewart in there. You know what I did to Jon Stewart? Bop, bop, bop. Woody Harrelson, Ashton Kutcher, Margaret Cho, come in there twice. Anthony Bourdain, and he put me in his book.
Have you always wanted fame?
No. I've been in the arts and entertainment business since I was a child. We went to concerts, we went to operas, and all kinds of things, symphony orchestra stuff. We went to plays. We did all of the cultural stuff. And these were things that my mother thought was very important. Started reading poetry at these little, coffee houses, and, they just had like open mic where people did all kinds of stuff. And people got to know me, and I was asked to come to colleges. I got a song about me, now I have a comic book, a t-shirt, the whole darn works. Because they've never seen a stripper that, did anything but then just strip. Hey, this girl's interesting. I'm a superhero, but I dance at the Clermont Lounge. And these aliens come in and they want me to spawn their little, alien babies. And I'm not having none of that. And then they just start acting a fool, and then they don't want to pay me. So I take my breasts, I beat them up, and they get thrown out. The Adventures of Blondie Strange is the name of the comic book. What's got me started dancing, I think I was fascinated, and everybody said it was a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but there's a lot of heartache, if you have any heart at all. If your heart is a brick, it won't matter, because the money is all that'll matter to you. I'm famous. I don't make as much money as my name. It's frustrating to work as hard as we do and make $5 and $6 on stage when there's 20 and 30 people around the bar. we really work for our food. You know what I'm saying? These other girls at other clubs make more money than we do, but we work just as hard and we're friendly. I guarantee you the girls at the Cheetah don't go around thank everybody for their dollars. Glad this is done. What that guy asked me last night about putting a cigarette between my tits and him lighting it or something like that, that was appalling to me. It really was. I'm like, just because I did this doesn't mean that I would do something like that. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey, do this. Hey, you're a circus monkey. It's just not right. And I know that they have better manners than that. It isn't because they're drunk. They're actually trying to degrade you, like I'm better than you. Everybody was talking about dance. They had dancers down in Evansville, Indiana. So I copped a ride down there and went down there and applied. This club was called the Vixen. And you could be 19. You're supposed to be 21 to drink, but you know they let me drink. It was a dinner club. I mean, people sat and ate their lunch and dinner while they watched you dance. We had go-go dancers in the daytime, but after 8 o'clock, the burlesque dancers came on. And I mean, some of the best ladies of that era. They had girls that had snakes, had snake in their acts. One had fire. One did nothing but acrobats. It was more erotic then. Stockings, gloves, long dresses, or pantsuits that you rip apart, with the Velcro. These women really performed. The girls of the Clermont, they don't dance like that. I remember one time I had bought a golden blonde wig and it really looked good on me, and I was walking through the alley and some people laughed at me because I guess they'd never seen a black girl with, blonde hair. I was just being myself. I think I make blonde hair look good. It doesn't look good on everybody. It doesn't even actually fit a lot of white people that were born with it. I went by Anita Fox, and it worked for that time. I didn't go by Blondie till I came to Atlanta. I wanted to change my name. I didn't get to Atlanta till late 1977, right after Elvis's death. Between this week and next week that I came to the Clermont Lounge, which will be 32 years. That's a long time.
When I first started there, people often asked me, hey, you work at the Clermont, how is it working with Blondie? And I would say, well, it depends on how much cocaine and alcohol is in her system at any given point in time. Because sometimes she could be very, very sweet, and other times she was either sloppy or out and out mean. There was a long while I wanted to be famous. Watching Blondie showed me that if I continued, I could very easily go insane, because that's what it looked like was happening to Blondie.
I'm not in a good mood. So
That's not a good one, is it?
I'm doing okay, but I'm just not in a good mood. Somebody pissed me off. I allowed them.
Men out there.
Yeah, one in particular, and I fucking slapped him when I got down on
Yes, you
stage.
did. I'm sure
in
he
the
deserved.
face.
I'm sure he deserved it.
He did. If you don't tip me, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But don't be talking about me when I'm on stage.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
And, telling me I need to work and this and that. All of his buddies gave me money to send me him. And when I came down, he thought I was being unfair. I said, you're a fucking loser. So how could I be unfair? Don't fuck with me.
I hear you.
Yeah, I've had a struggle with cocaine. I used to do it every day. Every day. I'm surprised I'm alive. I'm surprised I look this good. I can't say that I'm not addicted, but I've picked it up and let it go. I just try to keep it on the down low because I want my body to be healthy and clean. And I feel that God would bless me a lot more if I did not do this. I know He's not mad at me. Coke makes you feel very sensuous and sensual and makes you dance better, makes you make love better, or at least it makes it seem like it's better. But I have actually found that other things have, instead of cocaine, I like chocolate, dark chocolate, and a little maybe a granola bar or one of these little bars that has nuts in it and stuff like that, and that gives you kind of, and then sometimes popcorn, and you put a little bit of cayenne pepper on it, a little bit of, you know, those spicy things like that, and little red peppers and stuff like that, those actually accentuate the taste buds. So your taste buds for cocaine diminish, and you eat these type of foods to give you that same feeling. We all need a fix of some sort. So you try to find something to replace it.
Have you ever engaged in prostitution?
Yes. I don't remember how or when it happened, but yeah. I think I was running into some problems with some money. I'd gotten fired from my job, and I prostituted a little bit, maybe for 25, 30 bucks, not much. Most of them just wanted BJs anyway, blowjobs. But after that, I would talk to them. I said, you know, I'm dancing for a living, but you know, I said, this is make a little extra money. I said, but you know, I'm gonna make something of myself. I'm gonna make something of myself. And they said, you do that. They said, you don't look like the kind of girl that's a hooker anyway. I don't really like selling my body for money. I never did. But having the, since, you know, maybe I felt lonely and I connected with people on that level, and if I had to do that, that was okay. Dancing was a lot easier, but still you didn't make as much money. Guys were really, really cool and honest. We only dealt with white men, but still they were just good guys that wanted a good time. I don't think I was like most prostitutes. I didn't do it like, you know, okay, here's some money, and you get that and you do that. I made love to them as if they were my lover. I got busted, but it wasn't really for that. They entrapped me. No. I'm not doing anything, you know, but once you stepped in the car, you were trapped, you know, and they made it look like I had propositioned them, and I did not. I've been picked up for a few other things, too. I don't really remember. Hit a cop because he was handling me too rough. So I punched him, and he took me to jail. I mean, I've been harassed like that a lot of times.
A lot of the gay community sees her as their legs, as their Tina Turner. You would not know if she was another drag queen.
Back in 1996, that's when I considered myself, I guess my hormones were changing, and I knew that I liked women more than men. But just trying to find the kind of girls that I liked, they never seemed to like me back. But I've never thought relationships were supposed to be forever anyway. I haven't been with anybody intimate in a long time, but I really don't miss that. People think dancers automatically are sexual. You'd be surprised how many asexual, non-sexual women there are in the dancing business. I use all my sexuality on stage when I'm dancing, flirting with the crowd and flirting with the guys' girlfriends or wives, or, you know. And I let them know, I say I'm a lesbian just to get it out there.
She'll tell you she's a lesbian. She's bisexual. She's had relationships with women, but I think she has fallen in love more with men. Unfortunately, they're usually gay men, which is a self-imposed barrier on the intimacy. It's only going to be, we can go out being fabulous together. We can have fun. We can even do little sexual things together. We can date and be sweet and blah, 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 blah. But basically, you're going to be in love with somebody else.
I was you've heard her say it in your interview, her new gay husband. And that lasted about 2 weeks. The cards, you should see the cards. They're wonderful. Love, my new, all this and this and this. Love, love, kiss, kiss, new gay husband. And then I think we're too close. I think, we need to step back and slow down. And I'm thinking, are we even in the same book, on the same page?
Gay men are fun, and they're good, and they've really treated me very well. You don't have to sleep with them, but you kind of want to. When they have sex with a woman, it means that they really care about them. They just don't go around sleeping with they may sleep around with a lot of men because that's what their attraction is, but if they sleep with a woman, it's because they care about her.
Have you ever had a just completely monogamous relationship?
Yes, I have, and those have all turned to be disastrous. I would love to be in a monogamous relationship. I would love that. I want a friend, a lover, and somebody that's going to be there to support me through the good and the bad. And sometimes I've found it, and sometimes I've not. I've been asked to be married before, but they were not the ones I would have married. The only person I loved was Alan, to have his child or to marry, and I never did. What can I say about Alan? Alan Jowers. He was the love of my life. I met Alan at a place called the Far Library. It actually was just a regular bar. It had all kinds of books, looked just like a library, and lots of straight people went in there. But after 7 o'clock, kind of the straight people, or 8 o'clock, the straight people start to go in, and gays, or a different type of crowd, eclectic crowd. I think I was wearing my hair like with a fall, but I had blonde hair and I had on some little tight mini skirt, a little tube top or something like that, because it was in the summertime. And when I saw Alan, all these people, he had an entourage of people around, I'm like, I'm going to get to know him. Hi, my name is Blondie. I saw you over there, and yeah, I thought you were very nice looking, and I wanted to meet you. My lover's over there, brown sugar. I said, but she don't mind me talking to you. Immediately when I met him, we had that kinetic energy. We became friends, and we started dating, and I started getting in my head that I wanted to marry this man, even though he was gay, and I knew that. I would allow him to live his lifestyle. Could you see us having little tea parties, and I'm sitting at home and fixing up everything so all his little gay friends come over and my girlfriends. He was an actor. When I went to California, he showed me off to everybody. I got to ride in a big old limousine down Hollywood Boulevard. We got to go to this club, and everybody thought I was Tina Turner, so they let us in. This was my real first adult love. The real thing. I've been in love so many times, but it's like when you're in love with somebody and you're not thinking, oh, I'm in love with this person, I'm in love with that person, I knew I really loved this person unconditionally because I never slept with him. I don't know why it didn't work out. I think he wasn't as serious about getting married and having kids as I was. And he just had to say, I really do love you, and maybe at another time. I'd say you have to make that decision now, because I really love you, and I cannot put my life on hold for you. He said, well, then I'm sorry. And I said, well, that's cool. I understand. I said, I'm always going to love you. You're the love of my life. And he says, I love you too, Blondie. If I was going to marry a woman, you would be the woman. But I says, I probably will never marry or have kids. He says, no, don't say that. There'll be a guy out there for you. I said, no. I could see myself having had a child with him, never having sex with him, but loving him, genuine love. It was in '93, and I just happened to be at one of the gay clubs. And they said, Alan Jowers passed away. I just almost threw up. Oh my God, this just hurt my heart. I was just kind of hurt why he didn't tell me. I wasn't a close friend in the end, but we still were friends. We still were friends, and we still kept in touch with each other. It's just I had to find out at a bar through someone else. That hurt. That really hurt. Memories are something that we should cherish always. I remember everything about us, the good times, the tragic ones, and every magical moment that we shared together. My heart and senses are lingering in the ghost mist of a beautiful memory.
Does your mom know what you do?
Why, yes, she does. She has for years. And she came to see me once. I wasn't working that night, but I did get up and dance. My mother got to see me nude. Even though I haven't seen her in almost 20 years, we talked every now and then. We sent each other letters, cards all the time. And we have a spiritual connection that cannot be broken. My mother and dad were divorced when I was about 3. My mother was not financially able to take care of us, because my dad wasn't paying child support. Wasn't such a big deal back then. I lived with my great-grandmother. My mother came by and visited and gave her money every week, to take care of me and such. We lived in kind of like, I guess you would call it projects or housing development places. Not really projects, but house development places, where people live with low incomes. She came and got me when I was about, I guess, 12, almost 13. That's about the time that I'm about to become a woman. You know what I mean? We went to church all the time. Sometimes I felt like when I was little, it seemed to be fun. We went to a Pentecostal church, and that's the ones that are holy rollers and stuff like that, speaking in tongues. And let me tell you, there are no snakes. I don't know who came up with that. That must be a Southern thing. Yes, you speak in tongues, but it actually is a spiritual, I just don't know. When you get baptized and when you get saved, there's something that just comes over you. It's a feeling that you've never felt before, and you're letting the Lord into your heart and into your life. I've been to revivals, and like I said, I've seen stuff like The Exorcist at a young time, and I remember when my mother took my brother and I, you had to be covered by Jesus. Or I know you people don't understand this, but when those demons come out of somebody, they've got to have some place to go. They've got to have some place to go. So if you're not covered, they can go into you. And that is real. I kid you not. Everybody knows Psalms, right? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path. I don't know if I'll go back to that kind of life, but I'm just saying it's my spirituality. I'm just trying to do what I think is right.
What does your mother do now?
She's a secretary for the church, and she's an evangelist, and she travels different places of different countries. They send her. I'm glad that God called her for that, not me. She's good at it. I'm good at what I do. My mother worked so hard to take good care of us. I look at her like Coretta Scott King. That was a strong woman. My dad was who he was. I understand that. I never saw him as a violent man. When I found out that he used to hit my mother, that made me very sad and a little bit angry, and it took me a while to forgive him, but of course I did. My dad would come and get me like a couple times a month and, take me out for ice cream. He would take me to this bowling alley that I absolutely loved. But you could drink and everything like that. And I would sit up at the bar and have a Shirley Temple with a cherry in it like I was drinking. My dad was very charming, handsome. Kind of reminded me of Dean Martin. Kind of jolly and cool, you know, like that. But he was always had a drink in his hand. Like father, like daughter, I guess.
She's under the assumption that it was all fairy tales and moonbeams. But her mother did not raise her. Her father was not there. I think being abandoned and always needing to be loved and never getting the one person's love that you so desperately want and gotta have, I think that would pretty much shut anybody else out. She's so guarded because, well, she's just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
My brother, I never told my mother this. We got in a fight going to school. I don't remember what it was. We were yelling and screaming at each other. And he got so mad, and somehow, I know he didn't mean to do it, but a pot of boiling water spilled on my leg. I know he didn't mean to do it, but kind of, you know, we were fighting, and I think, you know, he grabbed onto it, and it, you know, and it put a big old bruise on my leg. I was crying, and he was upset. And I said, don't worry, I ain't gonna tell Mama. I'll just say it was an accident. But we loved each other very much, and we got closer as we got older. And when he was here in Atlanta, he was so proud of me. You know, my celebrityism was coming about. And we actually dated the same guy. I dated the guy first. Toward the end, when he kind of got strung out on drugs and stuff like that, I really wouldn't give him any money. But when I knew that he was at the halfway house after he'd gotten out of jail or something, I went and brought him money several times there. I think he called me and said that he had, or mother called me and said that he had AIDS. And then about a year, not even a year later, he died. And I never got to tell him how much I love him. I hope he knows how much I loved him, very much so.
How did your father's death affect you?
I was devastated. My half-brother called me on the day he died, and he had been staying with my brother for several months. Why didn't he call me then? And of course, he asked me to come to the funeral. I had an obligation to be someplace the day that they were going to have his funeral. I sent a card and I didn't go. And I hope that God forgives me for this, but I didn't go. My mother said it was okay. She says, you know, your father knows that you love him. I felt guilty, but my mother told me not to, because my dad was not really there for me all my life.
Blondie, let me go back to you just for a moment. And you mentioned that you are also a writer now?
Yes, I've been writing poetry for 5 years. But I took a class at Emory last year for short story fiction. I'm going to take it over and probably do a couple other things, because I really have a gift and I can give to people. When I recite my poetry, that's an accomplishment, and I want you to feel what I feel. And when I do it, you feel I wrote that from my heart. The ad that used to be in the back of the old TV guides, you know, poetry contests. And one day I actually decided just to, hey, it can't hurt. So I sent this poem in that I had written, and it got picked. It's called The Tears Behind the Laughter, and I think I was going through kind of a tough time. This one is published in the National Library of Congress. I was asked to come up there, you know, to represent my poem. That's my best accomplishment. And I do have another poem that's called The Late Night Review that I wrote many years ago about the Clermont Lounge and what I saw, heard, and just, you know, the ambiance around the type of club that it is. And that's when I got to be on Sally Jesse.
This is a regular routine as familiar faces clink glasses of cheer, together along with smoke-filled stench clouding the room. They all want a little R&R that lets them unwind, forget their misery. Outside the door lies their dismal reality to the troubles they must face again. I slowly sink deeper and deeper into the ambiance of this small but friendly place as dollars flow and girls smile aglow. What are they really thinking?
I want to be remembered for that. This is real. I'm a dancer, but I've got some brains. Hopefully, you know, things will change for me, and maybe I'll get gigs that I can do, that I get paid. I don't have to take my clothes off. I can do a one-woman show. I know how to put that together. I've done it before. I would love to be a motivational speaker. I think I'd be great at it. Now, I want to know how you get a Pulitzer Prize, you know, but I'm waiting on that, but it's not a big deal, but it'd be nice to have one.
How many times have you died?
How many times have I died? Oh, at least 20 or 30 over the last 20 years. Every year or twice a year. Somebody that's a hooker that's named Goldie or named Blondie or a dancer or somebody. I thought you died. I said, well, I'm dead. You will know it. You will know it. People were coming to the Stratford Inn to make sure I was alive. I had drug dealers coming there to make sure that I was okay. That's nice that people came by to see if I was okay. That shows that they care. That shows that they're human and that I'm not just some piece of trash. That they care about me to wonder if I'm dead or alive. It's a nice feeling. Studio 54. When I saw that movie, it made me very, very sad. There was a lady that was a character. She was an old lady, really old. And I guess they had her around because she was just somebody to have around. She was on coke. She OD'd on the floor. I guess that this is taken from the real things that happened because it was more like a biography of the... It was a movie, but it still was like talking about the things that happened up to the closing of Studio 54. She OD'd on the floor, and they had like maybe a moment of silence, and then they went right back to partying like she didn't even matter. And at that moment, I cried. What if that happened to me? Would people just have a moment of silence and then just go on to their next lives? I mean, at least have 5 minutes of closure for me. My real name is Anita Rae Strange, but I go by Blondie.
She gets what she gets, her fame and her stamina, her fortitude, her attitude, everything by being Blondie, but it's because she needs all of those things. She needs that love, she needs that praise, she needs that attention. You would think that would be something Anita, that should be something for Anita to pick up and to take. I think that's more something that Blondie is in control of.
A lot of people that come to the Clermont know her as a novelty. They come in to see her crush her beer cans, do her poetry, do a table dance, but that's not really her. Anita's a scared little girl. Blondie's a very buxom, outspoken, you know, curse you out woman that she is now.
They don't understand Blondie. A lot of people think she's a bitch or this or that. Once they know Anita, then they will understand Blondie.
Blondie is completely on. She commands, and she is regal. Anita, hell, Anita's a good old girl. You know, she's sweet. She is also not quite so put together at all times. There will be a gap between stripping and Social Security.
The children in the family that really don't really know her as Anita, they only know her as Blondie. I hope they get a chance to know her, Anita. Anita is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person, but sometimes Blondie distracts Anita.
Blondie has been Blondie for so long that I actually think it should be AKA Anita.
If you really have known Blondie, Anita, down throughout the years, you can just look into her eyes and you can see that sadness.
She's truly become a facade she has created.
Help me be a good Christian, a good person. Help me to show others the way to the cross. Let me live the life that you want me to live. Amen. I'm one of the most blessed people, not just strippers. I am one of the most blessed people in the world, and I thank God every day that I lived this long to be able to share with the world my story about my life, who I am, where I've been, who I am now, and where I'm going. And I'm on my way up. That's all I know. People can relate to me, you know, because they may have went through some of the same troubles. And they may not have been a dancer, but we all go through different troubles in life. You know that. And I hope that if they do see this story, that, you know, maybe they can not make some of the same mistakes that I have. We all learn from our mistakes, and we can't change our past, but we can move forward and just keep going on. I'm happy where I am. I really am. I'm really happy. And this is my life now, and I accept it. I've been given too much to not be thankful and grateful for what has happened to me. More has happened to me than any stripper ever, ever, ever. And I am just ecstatic that it happened to me. Why me, I wonder. But I'm glad it happened to me. I really am.
There's a bump on the hill where your body lies. There's a stone in the ground. Is this man did try? If you look to the east, you see your estate, weathered and hollowed out by your mistakes. Oh, Bobby, baby, we all know the truth. You were looking for love and all the bad that you do. Bobby, baby, we all know the deal. Your road was hard and long and straight up a hill. Your mother was gone, your daddy did wrong, your brother died by his own hand. Your wife tried so long, but you she disowned. Your daughter was lost with your land, with your land. don't sing